let's jump over here. Some slight spoilers, but nothing. Again, I chose a team of characters that wouldn't be too spoiler from what you've seen so far. So I hopped into a little bit later of a story chapter just to kind of
I'm
show
ready.
off. So I'll skip past
Yeah, there we go. There's
the
X-Men.
cinematic, and we find ourselves in the Dark Dimension, home of Dormammu. It's a lot of like during the story they visit the places that you sort of would want them to visit. So we just came from Xavier Mansion. We were in the Raft earlier. You go to Avengers Tower and some other places. So it's sort of like they hit upon all those major points that you'd want for a Marvel game. Um, all right. Hey, here we go. So we got a different group of Avengers: Black Widow, Thor, Iron Man. They've been leveled up some, so I've got Iron Man's beam that he can do, and is this with Cap? Can I do this one with Cap?
Nice.
I can shoot it at Cap and it reflects off and goes every which way.
Big AoE.
I've got my spin ray. A lot of those moves that you want, and then my barrage of missiles. All that kind of good stuff that you'd really want to see. So I'm going to hop in here real quick. You mentioned earlier the fashion game.
Yeah.
You may have noticed that my Black Widow is in a white outfit. That's an outfit that I locked. This is her default outfit. Let's discuss outfits real quick. Normal, unlocked. The difference? A palette swap.
A palette swap.
Ready? Captain America. Here's his default outfit. The one that I unlocked. Palette swap.
Come on.
Yeah,
Come
this
on.
another disappointing thing. So these unlocks that you get for outfits, most of them come from a lot of them come from Infinity Trials, and then others come from once you hit the harder difficulty levels. So not
Yeah.
Mighty, which is what I'm currently on with this game, but then you unlock new ones. Superior, once you hit Superior, you'll start unlocking new outfits. But
Oh, gotcha.
they've all just been palette swaps. And that's disappointing. Like there's so much like the number of outfits that they have throughout the years of Marvel to tap into,
Oh,
right?
that was one of the
Different
things of Marvel Ultimate Alliance, like one I remember having just like
right. Yeah.
weird outfits that were in like one line of the comics for Daredevil or Black Panther, and you're like,
Right, like this one
I've
shot.
never seen this
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the disappointing thing with all the outfits is I've never seen anything that's actually different. Deadpool
Right.
I think is the only one that does. He has one where here I might as well just toss him in here real quick. He has one that he's in a chef costume, and that only you only get that if you order the expansion pass.
Oh, okay.
Which it has the DLC for the three DLC things. So yeah, so he actually gets a legitimate change. Like this is like no, there's something different to it, and there's a
Yeah.
little bit of palette swapping there too, but like it's also sort of his X Force outfit. Weird, but it's like not quite like they kind of went part way, but not the full way. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so that's really disappointing. Like just all that kind of stuff. The expansion pass, like I mentioned, it has those three DLC packs that are coming out at some point. Marvel Knights in this September. Fantastic Four sometime after that, and X Men sometime, as well. Uh, so if you order that expansion pass, you get all that stuff. Plus, you get this outfit for Deadpool. I mean, I don't know if it's worth it or not. It's going to depend on how the DLC turns out. But
Right.
anyways, yeah, disappointing fashion game to say the least. The other thing is, further along at this point, I've unlocked the gear, which in this semi disappointing, but whatever is like in the past games it was you got something right, like you change Cap's shield, your Thor's hammer, Iron Man suit, stuff like that. here it's just what they call ISO 8. So these are crystals, again, tied to the Infinity Stones, and they give you new powers. So I have some equipped Deadpool here that increases strength, increases the damage of piercing attacks. He has a katana. That makes sense. His critical hit chance of piercing is also increased. Captain, I have a gem here that increases his durability. I can add something, there's different colors and different grades that go all the way from D up to AA. AA is the best. They come in all colors of the rainbow, including white and rainbow. Rainbow, I guess this is a slight spoiler, but rainbow unlocks towards the very end of the campaign, and they are like the more powerful ones. So most of the ISO, it gives you one bonus in that color. So yellow, again, tied to resilience, orange tied to mastery. Oops, those were spoilers by showing what characters they were on, whatever. Green, durability, but rainbow has two. So rather than just the one bonus, right? So you want to get a bunch of rainbows. Those are the ones that you actually want to get, and those are useful boosts, right? So they do things like increase the critical hit chance of abilities, decrease the damage taken that you receive if allies are down, increase your resilience. So like these are very useful things to put on your characters and to help boost you even further from what you already are. And there's a whole system too where you can break those down into parts. You can upgrade them up to a max of 5. Zap. So yeah, I mean, like the ISOs are your gear in this game, and
Right.
they're
and where do they drop from?
Mainly, they drop from strong enemies. So.
Okay.
So that chest there's like secret chests in every level. Some of the secret chests will also have them. Let's get past that real quick. For anyone who's really into the comics, there's also Bloodstone.
I don't even know who that is.
I kind of did, but then I was just like, all right, there's a character to include.
He has guns.
Yeah. She's kind of, I don't know. People are going to get upset for me saying this. My read of her thus far is she's female Van Helsing.
Okay, that's fair.
Like they describe her as a monster hunter, so I mean,
okay, she has 2 giant weapons, and a bodysuit. Sure, why not?
Fly forward here. Let's see if I find there's another Infinity.
Another rift. It's as if the fabric between dimensional planes.
Fight some mindless ones here.
We can't let the mindless ones cross to the other side.
Take these guys out real quick. So here they introduce a thing where you have to destroy this arcane artifact.
And so in your earlier game, you only had the one ability unlocked, and you have more abilities now just because you've leveled up more?
Yeah, so I've unlocked now the, level 20, level 5, 10, 15, 20 kind of stuff. Or I guess there's the base, it's not 5, but yeah. So what's tough is early on, before you have a bunch of stuff leveled up with characters, if you only have... Who's stuck back there?
Deadpool?
Deadpool? Can't figure out how to...
Seems typical.
Yeah. So early on, because you only have a couple of abilities, I didn't really go into this because it was easier to show with a bunch of them. But because you only have a couple of abilities, it's tough to pull off a lot of synergy attacks. Like you have to really pay attention to what synergy trait they have. So if you look down there, you see that Deadpool's Eat Lead has a rapid fire synergy trait. His Katana Rama has a charge. His Make It Rain is explosive. If I switch over to Cap, he has a charge shield trait. He has a safeguard. He has a launch. They have all these different ones. Iron Man has beam and area assault and burst and charge. So those different synergy traits matter because that's like your combination, right?
That's what's gonna
Yeah.
do your big damage.
So you have to go in early on and you look at the attacks and abilities underneath tips and look at these synergy traits. That it tells you here's what the synergy traits are.
Oh.
Then you go down a little bit past that and here's your synergy element barrage. Okay, so you have to combine these traits to do the element barrage. For coalesce, you need to do these things. Catalyst, like this tells you what all the combinations are, but there's no like they need this as a handy something as you're choosing your characters, right? Like some way to indicate that like, hey, these two characters have
these two will do this, yeah.
because otherwise, like very early on, until you unlock more abilities, you're very limited to what you can do, and those synergy traits are like how you do your major damage in the game. So, as you unlock, like once you get all the things, it kind of matters less because everybody's got a little mix and match of something, so they're going to be able to, something's going to be able to happen, and you don't have to pay as much attention anymore. But yeah, it is one of those cases where you're like, oh, I need to do this, that, or the other.
Did they
Anyways.
adopt the Marvel Ultimate Alliance one where you just mash the two ability names together? So when I had Doctor Doom and Sabretooth, I'd get a Mask of Pounce.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, I missed that. Anyway, so that's a lot of the combat. That's a lot of that. I won't show off too much of that. I'm going to hop into Affinity Trial here, but or actually, let me show off the co-op real quick, or like how you set that stuff up. Any other questions, kind of about that information dump of the past hour?
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a lot here. As you play, they have little tooltips and stuff that kind of introduces it. It's easy enough to see, and get a grasp of. But there's a lot that I do like about it. There's a lot of things I think are really good. There's a lot of things I wish were better or different or whatever. But on the whole, I think it's best played cooperatively. The one catch to it all, so I'm gonna do online here, and I can create a room, I can find a room which is just a random person, or I can join a room. So like this actually looks at your Nintendo Switch friends list, and if a friend has a game going and a room set up. Now the one thing is online is not drop in drop out. So like I'm gonna they say room, it's basically a lobby, right? So
Lobby,
I create a lobby. Once this is set up, that's kind of when a person can join. Or those shield checkpoints as you're playing online. When you hit a shield checkpoint, you can come back into this lobby so someone can join you. By the way,
cool.
Here's what I love. They just went to this whole thing of like rooms, right? And at the bottom there, it's room details, and I can edit room. Tell me, what's at the top of the screen there?
Lobby and team builder?
Lobby. Why did they why did they use the word? Anyways,
jeez.
So lobby, this is set up. People can join me. Like I said, there's combo co-op for this. So I have my second controller here. If I just hold down the left and right bumpers,
that's your combo co-op there.
And yeah. So
nice.
From here, myself and player 2 can use the characters that I have unlocked with our gear. If you were to join my game, then as player 3, you would only have access to your characters, whatever level they're at, whatever gear they at, your characters. Slot 4 then would be either filled by another online person, or if you have a couch co-op buddy, they could take slot 4. If it's left blank, then it's my character that fills that spot. And I can control that character, player 2 can control that character, you as player 3 can't control that character. Again, you only have access to your characters. So the bummer here is, again, if you're going through this and you want to level up characters, it's fun to play in co-op. It sucks to play in co-op because you can only level up one character. I can level up 3, potentially. Or, if we have 3 people join us, each one of us levels up 1. But then we're all left with like one powerful character, and the rest of our characters,
You kind of have to go into the the points, switch them out, gets a little bit cumbersome.
Yeah, it gets very cumbersome. Like, and it's again, it's like one of those things. If they just had some passive experience bonus that they were giving to your characters that were waiting in the sidelines, that'd be one thing. And it's not even like I could say, okay, well, let's just when we hit the next checkpoint, let's all switch characters because this is level like the story that we're at. It's level 25 is the recommended character level. If I switch to level 6 character, they're going to get stomped. I can't just like bring them in and have them level up right away, right? Like the other thing is XP gains are not based off of like a level 6 character doesn't get more experience from a level 25 enemy. They get the same amount of experience. So it's going to take the same amount of time for them to get to level 25 regardless of who you know what enemies you're killing. So yeah. So that's the kind of downside to it. Otherwise, like I said, it's great. You know, you keep your progress with your characters, all the gear. You know, ISOs, when they drop, they are instanced per character, so you get whatever you get, I get whatever I get.
Right.
All that stuff is saved. So the last thing to talk about and show off here are these Infinity Trials. I'm just gonna go to the very basic one
That's
here.
a rune I don't know how to say.
Gamma.
Okay.
They'll tell you. See, it's nice.
Okay.
So yeah, so here's the different, Infinity Trials. They are. I'm not gonna again. There's 4 that eventually sets of these that unlock, and again you see what the enemy level is. This is then the recommended level that you have. So you see here there's solo things to unlock outfits. So I can get a new Spider-Man, new Hulk, new Captain America. In this case, the very final note of this is how I unlock Elektra.
Oh,
So
heavens.
I try not to spoil too much from other characters that you can unlock, but there's other characters that you unlock through this as well. And this is the only way to do it is through the Infinity Trials. So you see this symbol here. So if I repeat this mission, I'm going to get a random blue ISO 8.
Right.
So every time I clear it, I will get this reward. These rewards I've already claimed, so they have a star system. If you complete all these other objectives as you do it, then you get these rewards too. So the only thing I can get out of this then is that ISO 8. If I go over here to this wave, the repeat reward for doing it is I will get a random XP cube. Because it's a solo level, it's probably going to be a small XP cube. Higher trials will get you better ones. But this is, again, this is the way that you get stuff, right? This is the way that you go and you grind for stuff. If you want experience for the other characters or if you want XP cubes, this is the way to do it. And it's,
Is it
these
interesting or is it just...
yeah, but they're also, it gets very repetitive. Like it gets very,
Right.
like there's one of these that is the best way I found to kind of level because you fight a bunch of harder enemies who give you the best XP. So and you can kill them pretty quickly with the particular trial that it's in. So it's the best way to get experience, but it's just boring because like,
Yeah.
the 5th time that you do it, you're like, I get it, like I will go into one of these. I'll go into this one just to show off something a little bit different. So this is a boss to fight. The catch here is that my HP slowly drops, but when I deal damage, I heal. And incapacitated allies cannot be revived. So we'll go in with our team and see how we do here. And then once we do that, we'll wrap it up.
Against Magento?
Against Magento. Any other questions kind of while I'm waiting for this to load up?
I'm just... What are you getting out of this game experience?
I've ever since Marvel Heroes Omega went away,
Dropped off?
I've been
Because you're really into that, right?
I was really into that, and I was bummed that they closed it, that all that stuff went down and it happened as it did. Sorry, I just wanted to take up second player there. I've been really itching and looking for another Marvel action
Marvel
RPG.
fix.
Yeah. So this is it, right? Like this is my
This is the one. This is
is
what you get.
this is what I get for right now. And it's fine. Like I again I'm in. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy like particularly now that I've unlocked these harder levels. There's some good stuff there for me to get. There's things that I'm interested in checking out. Haha, take that.
What did you throw at him?
A power core from a sentinel.
Oh, nice. I saw the button prompt, but I didn't see what you actually picked up. The Mango Sentinel. Oh, these are just regular ones. A weird face. I do like your chef hat, though.
It's a nice chef hat. Whoop.
Uh-oh.
Dodge. So yeah, and as you know, it's like, all right, this thing has those circles that indicate. So why these attacks but not others? I don't know.
Right. Well, it's a video game, so. Okay, Ultimate Extreme, chill. Here we go. Here we go. We
Lots
did
of
it.
flashes on screen.
We killed that Sentinel King. Nice work. Nice work.
Didn't get any other stars, but you get ranks all the way up to S plus, which affect then how much credits
what you
and
get, yeah.
So the little container thing there, that's what you use to upgrade your ISOs.
ISO is nice. Your ISO juice.
Yeah. And you can retry, which takes you back in. So, again, the nice thing is if there's one of these that you want to do over and over again, hit retry, you pretty much go right back into it. But it is just, here we are again doing this. And
Right.
I would like to see just a little bit better, a few better things with that stuff.
Well,
But
also just like, this is probably stuff that got cut from the game or story, so they're just going to put it in because they had it. Sure, Infinity Trials, why not?
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's a good way to expand, kind of like beyond the campaign. The Infinity Trials themselves are co-op, so when I win again, if I go in and create a co-op session, if I create a room, lobby, whatever, rather than choose story mode and the difficulty and stage and stuff like that, I can set it to Infinity, and then I can specify what Infinity trial to take on. So again, that's another way that you can do this with your friends. Potentially another way if you have a friend who's willing to do it, like if they have a really high level character and then you've got low level ones, shoot the breeze with them for a little bit while they clear it out and they help, boost up your lower level characters or whatever. The one thing I will say about all this is this player count. So the host takes precedent over guests. What I mean by that is if I set this to players 2, and then you create the room, and then you join me.
Yeah.
Okay. If I have a couch co-op person who then joins, they kick you out, and no one else can join because the player count is 2.
Okay.
Which is weird.
So you have to back out and change it?
Well, so I can go into the
room
room details and then edit the room and then change the player count, to however much I want. But like that was something that's one of those little disclaimer things of like, hey, I set this to 2 because I only want one other person joining me online or whatever, but then I have my buddy join me and he gets booted out or whatever. Like, yeah, it's the max player count is the max player count, and whoever is the host, if they have a couch co-op person join, they take precedent over online players and they will boot online players. So kind of, one little weird thing there with that, but that's a lot of talking, but that's Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, the Black Order. There's if you're looking for a Marvel action RPG like me and you kind of been hankering for one, this mostly works. This mostly scratches that itch. There's a few things I wish were different, better, but It's still, more than anything else, when I need it to be, it's just mindless fun, and that's,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's kind of the most important itch to scratch when you need it. Is just that sort of, I'm gonna mash some buttons and level up, play with my favorite Marvel characters and level them up and maybe get some good gear out of it. So
Nice.
we're gonna have a co-op FAQ. So a lot of the stuff that I discussed, in this about like the how co-op works, how people can join up and stuff like that is going to be answered in that FAQ. You can check that out on the site. If you're watching this, the archive version, then it should already be in there, and there's going to be a link in the post. I'm also working on the review for all this. That'll be up hopefully sometime soon, because I won't be around next week, so I've got to make sure I get that up before I head out. But yeah,
Punching
thanks.
good.
Punching good. Punching with more strength,
Superheroes
even
good.
better.
Nice. Well, thanks for going through that, Jason. Appreciate it.
Thanks for
Looks
joining me,
good.
Locke.
I'm glad it found a home on the Switch.
Me too. And tune in next week for something. I'm not quite sure what. That's going to be. It's just going to be
What's up
you
to
and
Nick
Mike.
and Mike?
No, it's going to be up
No,
to you
I'm
and
out.
Mike.
I'm out.
Oh,
No,
it's
I'm
going to
gone.
be up to Mike. Mike's just going to stream some
Mike
more
solo.
Final Fantasy.
Fantasy 14.
Yeah, he's gonna do Final Fantasy 14 or Path of Exile if I had to make a guess.
Nice. Nice.